in our lives, we sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well-doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe, and know one day you'll receive all the blessings that's for you. He is going to see you through. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Gotta go where God leads. Where God leads. Gotta shine so people can see. They can see. Gotta go where you are. Where you are. Know that God will keep. He will keep. Gotta go where God leads. Where He leads. Gotta shine so people can see. They can see. Gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta go where God leads. Where God leads. Gotta shine so people can see. They can see. Gotta grow where you are. Where you are. And know that God will keep. He will keep you. Go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see.
Hello and welcome and happy new year. Welcome to Turning Dreams into Reality 2019. We are so glad you are here today, and I am super excited because there has been so much that has happened since the last time I sat in this seat, which was August of 2018, believe it or not. But I'm going to share that story with you and then bring on some wonderful people today that will help you to turn your dreams into reality. I just want to start off by saying God has been better than good to me, and I have something to share with you all. I live by what I wrote in 2016, that I am still here living a purposeful life, and I'm ecstatic about what God is going to do for me, for you, and for everyone in 2019. Again, my name is Dr. Taskeka L. Green. I am the president, CEO, and founder of To Everything There's a Season Incorporated, where we turn your dreams into reality. I believe that any dream you have, as long as you seek it and believe it, you definitely can achieve it. So I just want to sit back and just go back to last year in March when I first started turning dreams into reality. It was inspired by God, where He said He wanted me to help more people to turn their dreams into reality. And what a better platform than this that extends across the world. August 2018 was the last show that I actually did with my daughter, Michaela, who founded the Michaela Book Club. And in the midst of that, she also wrote her second book called I Am a Cutie, Queen in Training. And so if you have a young princess that you are mentoring, that you are raising, you are training, please look into this book. It's just a book of some great affirmations. And it also allows your daughter, your child, your student, children to write and illustrate their own story at the end. So after August 2018, in September, I shared the platform with Team Mitchell, Sanita and Tony Mitchell, and they were here to talk about the blended family. And I'm so excited because now every Thursday at 9 o'clock, you can listen to In the Mix with the Mitchells here on voxwave.com. So that's something to celebrate because they were someone that came and turned their dream into a reality, and now they have their own talk show. Then in September 2018, I had none other than the best coach that's out there. Her name is Lisa M. Jones. So Lisa M. Jones and her team, her Extreme Makeover leadership team, was here to share how you can break those cycles over your life, both physically, spiritually, mentally, financially. And they were here sharing that and had a wonderful conference last October. And they're going to have another conference coming up this October. So look forward to that. In November and December, I took some time off, and I looked at Ron, who's our engineer. I took some time off, and Ron actually just played some previous shows that I had. But I had to take some time off to actually get in a place where I had to be still and quiet. And I haven't shared this testimony at a national platform, but I'm released to share it now because this is all about turning dreams into reality. And I really want you to know that I started this because it was inspired by God, not knowing in the midst of it that my dream will be turned into reality as well. So in July, I was informed that I had 45 days to find a job because I was being eliminated from my position in which I worked. With that being said, that meant finding a job within the company, within the system, meaning I could have been lateral or it could have been another job that was below what I was already doing. Within that 45 days, let me go back before the 45 days. When you heard the news, it seemed like it was almost career suicide for me. An 18-year career that I was passionately and committed to, within 5 minutes, I was informed that I was no longer going to be in that place. And I wish you the best. So immediately I began to just have these emotions that started to run on the inside of me. And it wasn't a worry about what was going to happen to me and my family, because the Bible says that God will supply your needs and have no thought for tomorrow. So I didn't have a thought for tomorrow. I didn't worry about what I was going to eat, what I was going to wear, where I was going to sleep. One, because I knew God had me, and also two, because I have too many friends to be broke or homeless, and I'm going to keep that 100. And if I come to you in a need and you can't supply it, then I have to question, are you really a friend? And so with that being said, I just started to weep because I could not believe the impact that one person could have on so many and the emotions that played into that. Not even looking at people as people, but just looking at them as a vehicle or object or simply irrelevant, and not looking beyond them and seeing their families and their needs. So at that place, I just started to cry. And then I just, stood up in myself and I said, you know what? You're going to be okay. And what are you going to do? You're going to trust God, because if he did it before, he's going to do it again. And so with that being said, I walked away from that, and I walked away. And when I walked away, I walked with confidence, not in me, but confidence in God. And then I had to learn the difference between a calling and being chosen, which there is a difference. You could be called to do something, but chosen to do something else. And so with that violent interruption in my life, I had to align everything back up to the plan of God when he conceived me in his mind, but used my mother to birth me. And so I am thankful today that within that time that God has blessed me, and I am now a full-time entrepreneur, not a workpreneur, not a side hustle, not wishing and hoping. God has turned my dream into reality, and I'm a full-time entrepreneur with To Everything There Is a Season, running a full-time consulting firm specializing in education, where I am the Chief Education Strategy Consultant. Let's celebrate that today. I am thankful. I had to learn so much. I had to first learn so much about me, how I have messed up my life because I tried to alter the plans of God with what I wanted to be. But my plans were not his plans. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans for you. It is not the same plans. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan is going to prevail. And then I had to align my whole life. I had to align my life as a woman of God, as a worshiper, as a wife, as a mother. I tell you, when your 3-year-old son comes to you and say, can I give you a hug? That's a wake-up call, because your child should never ask for a hug. You should always want to hug him. And I had to tell him, don't you ever ask me for a hug. You better say, girl, come over here and give your baby some sugar. And that's what he started to do. So I'm just thankful, because so many things in my life have aligned back up. It allowed me more time for prayer, allowed me more time for worship, for church, for home, for my husband, for my wife, to serve me, my husband and his wife, to serve more, to give more, and ultimately to love more, because that is what purpose is, just fulfilling the assignment that God called you to do. So I wanted to share that, because I haven't seen you since August, and it's so much that transpired and so much that's going on. But we're going to get moving, because we have a great show today, and I don't want to hold up you hearing from these wonderful people. And I'm so excited that they found time in their purposeful schedules to come here. That means a lot to me, and I'm just thankful. So today we have TV personality, WUSA 9 News, Ellen Bryan. Let's give it up for her. Yes. Yes. And we also have a wonderful gentleman. He is so humble. He is so blessed. He's so talented. He is celebrity barber Wade Menendez, who has founded the Men's Hair Unit. So let's celebrate him. Yes. And I'm glad they're here. So what we're going to do, listen, go and tell everyone to tune in to either Taskeka Green's Facebook page, or go to voxwave.com, and you can watch us live. We're going to be on until 4 o'clock p.m. And also you have an opportunity to call in if you would like to speak to one of our guests today. You can call in at 240-719-2560. So just take a break, because I know you got a lot of groceries because it's about to snow. Go get your snacks, come back, and we're going to bring on Ellen Bryan. Stay right there.
We here at VoxWave believe that no one in the DMV should go without a coat this winter. So we partnered with Star Imports dealership for this year's annual coat drive. If you have an old or gently used coat that can still be worn, drop it off with us. VoxWave Studios at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland, and give the gift of warmth to somebody in need in the DMV.
Many times in our lives, we sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are, know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are, and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well-doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe, and know one day you'll receive all the blessings that's for you. He is going to see you through. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where.
Welcome back. We are here at voxwave.com with Turning Dreams into Reality talk show. And I have with me here none other than the wonderful, beautiful Minute Motivator,
yes.
Ellen Bryan. And let's give Ellen a hand today. Thank you, Ellen.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm just going to read a little short bio about Ellen so you can learn a little bit about her. And then I'm going to let her just go and share her story with you. So Ellen Bryan is an American television personality and beauty pageant title holder from Salina, Ohio. You didn't know that, right? She was crowned Miss Ohio in 2011. Isn't she beautiful? And competed for the Miss America title in 2012. In May 2014, she was a reporter for KXAS TV in Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex, so she doesn't mind traveling, I can see.
No,
and then in March 2016, she left and moved to Washington, D.C., where she began working for WUSA 9 News, where she does the traffic. And because of the snow, she has to go to work and report to you about the traffic. Ellen is an inspirational speaker. She's a motivator. She's a blogger. She's a fashionista. Look at her, came in here trying to look better than me. I'm just saying. She is the founder of the Minute Motivation, which she's going to tell you all about later, and in which she provides a daily 1-minute motivation that gives you that little push to say that I can and I will. Please help me to welcome Ellen Bryant to Turning Dreams into Reality.
Thank you. I was saying, Dr. Green, you should go the whole time. I was tearing up over there listening to the beginning and the journey that you've been through this last year. It's incredible.
Yes, thank you.
Your story
thank
is
you.
such a testimony.
Thank you so much. So, Ellen, I'm going to step away, and we're just going to let you share your story.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, we met at a conference. Was that about a couple months ago?
Yes, a couple months ago.
Before the holidays. And we were talking about where you get your motivation from and the internal energy that you have. And I have a very personal story that's based around my family of where a lot of my motivation comes from. I shared with you then, and I'll share with the viewers now. My favorite quote ever is, "To whom much is given, much is expected." I believe that I have been given a lot, and I think a lot of times we overlook what we have been given because we are so blinded by what we don't have and what we want yet. But we have a lot. You mentioned I'm from Ohio. I'm from a very small town. Wade and I were talking about it, and I'm like, you've never heard of it. It's right on the Indiana border. A small town, about 10,000 people in the middle of nowhere, but a very tight-knit community. And I grew up in a place where family and faith were everything. I am the youngest of 3 girls, so I have 2 older sisters, Christina and Andrea. My middle sister actually lives here in D.C., which has been helpful to make this home pretty quickly. But when I was going into the 6th grade, a big life event for my family happened that really has been the internal drive for me throughout my entire life. I was 11 years old at the time when my oldest sister, who was a senior, about to be a senior in high school, it was the summer between, she worked on the golf course in Salina, where we also lived. And we had actually been on vacation. This was June of 2000, and we had been on vacation. We came back a day early from vacation just because we'd been gone about a week and a half, and everyone was tired and ready to get home and, wash the clothes and get back into your normal routine. And so Christina went to the golf course that day to see what her schedule was and if she had to work or not, or when she was working the next week. And for some reason, she had actually been scheduled to work that day. June 13th of 2000. And so she, as we're a family of kind of people pleasers and we like to follow the rules, she's like, oh, I'm so glad we came back early. I didn't miss this day of work. So Christina went to work that day, and she was working the evening shift when we actually had a storm come through Salina. This storm had lightning, it had thunder, it had heavy, heavy rain. And of course, on a golf course, that means nobody is there anymore. They all go inside, they're in the clubhouse. And Christina's job at work was actually to do the carts. So people would come back with their golf carts, they'd bring them to the area where she'd clean them off and put them in to get charged back up so someone else could take them. So her job was outside, but during the storm, she went inside to stay safe through that storm. The storm passed on through Salina. It wasn't raining anymore. Blue skies were right behind it. And so the golf pro looked at Christina and said, no one's out here. It was about 5 p.m., so it's later in the evening. People probably aren't going to come back out. Why don't you go do one more job of the day, which was to go out on the driving range where people practice hitting their balls. And they have stands out there for where you put your golf bag while you're trying to practice. And they wanted to mow that area the next morning. And it's a lot easier to mow if you have those carts or the stands all picked up before, so you're not getting in and out of the mower. So he said, just go pick up those stands today, and then after that, you can go home. So Christina went back outside. Storm had passed on through. It's blue skies. It's not raining anymore. She was bending over to pick up one of those stands, and a strike of lightning came out of the sky, and it hit Christina. It was a direct strike, and right next to where she was standing was a 3-foot deep hole. It was just incredibly powerful, and the strike put her into cardiac arrest instantly. So she was without oxygen to her brain for about 10 minutes. And because of the lightning strike, and this is also in 2000 when cell phones weren't in everyone's hands so easily, it knocked out the power in the area as well. So they scrambled to figure out, how do we call the paramedics? How do we get people out here? So they did call the paramedics, and they were able to come out to the scene. While all that was happening, my mom and I were at home, and we lived very close, within about a mile, with it being a small town too. And I remember answering the phone at home, and I saw on the caller ID it said the Fox's Den Golf Course. And so I answered it. My mom was actually doing the laundry from vacation, and I said, "Hey, this is the Bryan residence. How can I help you?" And he said, "Is your mom or dad there?" And so I put the phone, in my palm. I was like, "Mom, it's for you." And she's like, "Can you take a message?" And I went back to talking to him, and he said, "No, I need to talk to your mom right now." And there was something in the tone of his voice that I knew something was very, very wrong. And Mom told me, "Okay, you go continue folding the laundry," while she went on the phone call. And because I knew something was wrong, I remember pulling something out of the dryer and just standing there looking at it in my hands. And that's when everything changed in our life, because she got off that phone call and she said, "Your sister's been struck by lightning. We got to go right now." And I was still in my swimsuit from swim team practice that day, and I put on flip-flops, and we ran out to the car, and we started taking off toward the golf course. I remember asking my mom in the car, "What happens to someone who's struck by lightning?" Because I didn't know about it. I'd never heard about it. I didn't know what happened to people. And she had known a case in Salina many years ago where it basically paralyzed the man for the rest of his life. So instantly I know this is very serious, and I'm 11 years old, and we pull up to the scene, and my mom goes barreling through the police officers and everyone who tries to hold her back from Christina, because they had Christina up underneath the overhang where you would go into the clubhouse, and they had her laying there, and I remember how blue she was. She was just so blue. And my mom barreled through everyone trying to stop her, and she just put her hand on her leg and just sat up there with my sister. And I stayed back. And I remember people started coming up to me saying, "Where's your dad right now? What's his number? How do we get a hold of him? Do you think he'll be able to make it here? What hospital should we bring your sister to? Which one does your family go to? Who's your doctor? Where's your other sister? We need to get in touch with her." And it was really a moment of growing up in a second. I was no longer this 11-year-old girl who had everything, this perfect life and perfect family in this small town, and it was reality that hit. My sister was care flighted eventually to Dayton Hospital, and she was in the hospital in and out for the next 2 years, but she did survive.
Good.
So now it'll be 19 years in June, and she still is alive.
Yes, I saw her in the pictures.
Yeah. It's hard to describe her. So pictures are hard. Video helps a little bit. She is mostly paralyzed. She can move a very little bit, but not enough to actually control an iPad or something. It takes. She does big blocks. She can hit it, but not type out a sentence or something. And she still lives at home with my parents. She hasn't been able to speak since, so she nods her head for yes and no. But the whole story, and going back to that quote, "To whom much is given, much is expected," is Christina still lives like she has been given so much. Despite what the lightning strike all took from her, the ability to get up, sit up in bed in the morning, that would be amazing after 19 years, to be able to do that. The ability to talk. All of that has been taken from her, and she still lives like she has been given more than anyone else in the world. She's so positive, and she loves when people come up to her and get to interact with her and talk with her. And that's been part of my platform and what I did with Miss America as well, is just tell my sister's story. Because when I was 11 years old, I didn't know that lightning could do that to somebody. I had to ask my mom, what happens to someone when you're struck by lightning? And so that became my mission, my platform, to tell Christina's story, be her voice for her. And it's almost that daily reminder when I wake up in the morning, like tomorrow, we're doing snow coverage. And it's like, it's Sunday, I don't want to go to work. But I think of my sister, and I think Christina would love to just go be able to take a shower on her own right now. All the things that we take for granted. She would love all of that. And so I know from her, it's just kind of baked into me. We've been given so much. We have been given so much. And so you need to do whatever you can with that and use your platform to its fullest.
Exactly. Wow. Whew, wow, that was a lot, right? That was a lot. And I think the end of what you said is we take so much for granted. We take so much of the activities of our limbs, our jobs, our cars. We take everything, our life for granted. And like you said, when it is taken away, the things like that, people would pray for those things back, the things that we have every day. That is wonderful, and you said it. You started it right off. Too much is given, much is required, and then the latter part actually says too much is trusted, much is demanded. And so you look at, you're going to be required a lot, and you're going to be demanded a lot, right? Yeah. So let's take a break.
Okay.
Because the story has really captivated me, and I need to get myself together now. So if we could take a break, and then we'll come right back, and we're going to ask Ellen a couple of questions. Is that okay?
Oh, for sure.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Many times in our lives, we sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well-doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe, and know one day you'll receive all the blessings that's for you. He is going to see you through. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see.
And we are back here on Turning Dreams into Reality with Ellen Bryan. And so we're just going to ask Ellen a few questions. And so, Ellen, when you were telling your story, I really heard the simple theme about when you wake up every day, just be thankful.
Right.
Be thankful, be grateful, and go out and do what you were called to do. Even though tomorrow's Sunday and it's going to snow and you'd rather be in the bed, listen, I have to go and do this because I am going to be helping others. And so with that being said, just share some of the testimonies that you have gotten from people about how your story has helped them.
Yeah. Oh, my sister's story. Anytime I tell it, it has the biggest impact. I'll share other stories about being on the Miss America stage or what it's like to be in TV broadcasting, and no one cares about that. They care about Christina because of the inspiration that she has been. I think some of the biggest testimonies that have come, honestly, through Minute Motivations as well, but I did one on my sister. Minute Motivation is something I do every day personally, and then I've interviewed guests as well.
And tell our audience when how they can find your Minute Motivation.
I put it mostly on my social media pages, so it's Ellen Bryan on Instagram or _ Ellen Bryan on Twitter, Ellen Bryan TV on Facebook. But we do it on Mondays on air on WUSA 9 and Get Up DC. And I shared other CEOs and people who have built these powerful businesses. And then I shared my sister's story. And all we basically did was we sang a little bit, a couple of verses of, a song. And she finished the end a little bit. And everyone came up to me in the newsroom that day. And they all said, oh, thank you for sharing. And I got messages and things. So it's amazing what her story does and the impact.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, you have quite a following. So, I like to go and I read and I research, and you have quite a following. But when did you know that you really were led or called to inspire and to motivate others?
I think there's always been something inside me. I've told my mom when I was really little, I kept saying, I think I get something that I just am supposed to share. I told you in the break, actually, that I was a little girl, and when I'd go to bed after Christina had been struck by lightning, I would rehearse telling her story in my mind, and I'd see myself telling it to a group of people. And now I spent the last decade telling her story across the country. I think there's always just been a little something inside of me, and a lot of it is with Christina and my mom and dad from the very beginning saying, we won't be throwing ourselves a pity party. We're going to go out and move on and give her the best life that she can have. So I think through all of those experiences, it's always been there. And I've been thankful this last year. It's finally like, all right, Ellen, you got to start doing it. You can't just, I've done TV journalism for a long time, and it's, I had to add something to it as well, which is how Minute Motivation came about.
Exactly. And I heard you say that your parents said, we're not going to stay here. We're not going to be in this pity party. We're going to move on.
They would not let us. My other sister and I were like, oh, poor us, because Christina, she's a lot of work for my parents. She's a lot of work, and they never complain. They never complain. And they've just said we're pushing forward.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so often, our listeners that are listening, that we get stuck in this low state, or we get stuck in a place called a wilderness, right? And so, what you shared with me and what I heard is that we can't get stuck in the moment, that we really have to focus on the end and the promise and what's going to come. And so if you had stayed in that place, you probably wouldn't have been here today. You would have been still in that situation, just dwelling on, I cannot believe this happened. But because it happened, now your sister still has a voice. It's just through you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And it's a stronger voice.
And it's a stronger
this
voice.
Way, I believe.
It really is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Most of the time, people that motivate and inspire, they give so much to others, and then they need something poured back into them.
Yes.
So my next question really talks about, how do you keep yourself motivated?
I love self-improvement books.
Okay.
I think in college I switched over to reading biographies because I wanted to figure out, how did these people get to where they are today? What were their influences? I love self-improvement books, and then just, I think, surrounding yourself with the right people in your life, like your small group of people. They also have to be pretty motivated people, because then they motivate you in return.
Exactly. You know what, Ellen? I have really enjoyed you, and I hope you can stay around for the remaining of the show.
I want to hear Wade.
You don't want to
sure.
hear Miss Wade.
Oh my gosh.
You don't want to miss Wade. Exactly.
We were talking earlier, so I'm definitely staying.
Yes, but before we go, if you could speak to our listeners and just give them some advice that would help them to turn their dreams to reality. Because, again, you shared that we met each other at a conference. It was Sharon Parker. So, hey, Sharon Parker, at the Lead Within conference.
Yes.
And we actually sat together for lunch. We talked, and you shared so much about yourself, but then you shared some other things about you that will be coming into fruition.
Yes.
Because I'm believing that for you. No, it's no hope. We believe. We turn dreams into
Oh,
reality
good,
here.
Good.
They will. And so with that being said, what advice can you give someone out there that wants their dream to now become a reality?
I think you have to start, and even start small. So for me, when I started Minute Motivation, I just wanted to put something positive on social media every morning. Being in the news, everything it just feels so heavy every morning. I thought, I want to start something positive. So I went into a little room by myself, cell phone camera, recorded the first one. And it just kind of grew from there, where my bosses started picking up on it. Everything started getting shared on our WSA9 platforms, and they wanted it on air. And I always think back to, it just started with me and my cell phone, because I just said enough is enough.
Yes.
The same as writing a book. You just one page at a time, one page. And even if it is something small and you feel like this is never going to get seen by anybody, I did a Minute Motivation on one of my favorite books. Can I say it on here? I don't know. It's
I know what it is.
Do you know what it is? Okay, go look on my social media.
Go look on her page.
It's a horrible word, but it's not. But I met the author yesterday.
I saw.
Yes, and I started tearing up. And I think there's just some sort of, as we talked about at the conference too, a synergy.
Yes.
And what you're putting out, you're going to start getting back. So if you're just doing little things, take that first step.
Yes.
And then it will start leading you, like here
Exactly.
with you today.
Exactly. And thank you again, Sharon Parker, for hosting that conference, because the synergy that was there actually helped Ellen and I to connect, and I know there's more to come. So I'm excited. And again, one last time, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, ellenbryan.com is the easiest way, because I have all of my social media platforms on there, and Minute Motivation's on there, my blog, that sort of thing. So
awesome. Thank you, Ellen, and we are so glad you're here.
Listen,
did that excite you and ready to get you started on some things this year? Don't waste another minute. Ellen told you all she had was her cell phone and a word. And with her cell phone and her word, she now has the Minute Motivation that is seen by all, and on the WSA platform as well. Right. So thank you, Ellen. We appreciate you. And Ellen's going to hang around. And in a few minutes, we're going to bring up celebrity barber Wade Menendez. Stay tuned on VoxWave.com. We'll be right back.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? VoxWave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
VoxWave now features a streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the VoxWave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
Shout out to Roma.
Yo, you know what time
They shout out the most.
Many times in our lives, we sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well-doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe, and know one day you'll...
Welcome back to Turning Dreams into Reality. I'm your host, Dr. Taskeka Green. I am the president, CEO, and founder of To Everything There's a Season Incorporated, and we are back. And sitting with me today, I have the pleasure to interview Wade Menendez. If we could give it up.
Man,
yes, I'm excited. I am excited. I mean, between, internationally known and being on HBO and, news segment, I'm like, woo, whoa, can I have your autograph, please? I'm just saying, so I'm excited. And, it's a pleasure because I actually have known Wade for a very long time. Yes, his mother is my mother as well, in the Lord and in the Word. And her and her husband, when I was a youth, Todd spoke some wonderful things over my life that have come into fruition and continue to come into fruition. And so I'm just thankful to his mother, Pastor Cheryl Menendez. So let's honor her, salute her today. I know she's watching and everything, and so I'm thankful to have Wade. And I do want to take time because when you have greatness among you, you need to know where they started, because everybody didn't start in the place. I say this all the time. People see the product, but they don't see the process it took to get there. Yeah. And so I do want to take the time to actually read Wade's mini bio for you. So Wade Menendez, also known as Wade the Barber, is a master barber that has been in the barber field for over 11 years and is continuously growing his business. What started out as a hobby for him grew to be a career. Graduating from Avera's Academy of Hair Design, Wade received his license to provide his continuously growing client-based quality service. In March of 2011, Wade opened his first barber salon, the W Hair Loft, which is located in downtown Glen Burnie, Maryland. Through much hard work, dedication, and support of his clients, he was able to open a second location in the Washington, D.C. area in the summer of 2014. Through many years of perfecting his craft, he is able to produce unique styles simply with a pair of clippers, and his skill set guarantees total satisfaction every time. Wade's commitment to be one of the best barbers he could possibly be has landed him a very impressive client list and has afforded him the opportunity to work on many TV and movie sets. Wade has also been featured in various magazines over the length of his career. Growing up with a solid Christian background, Wade believes one can succeed anything that they put their minds to. Follow your passion, give your best each time, remain humble, and stay full of integrity. And I believe one will do well in life, says Wade. Let's give it up again for Wade Menendez. Wade, when I think of you, I really think of where it says, if you're faithful over a few things, that you'll be ruler over many. And so just through your process, I've seen how the little things you were thankful for and has made you the humble gentleman that you are today and so successful. So just share with the audience some of those things that have brought you gratitude and humility.
Man, well, I believe I'm humbled I'm grateful for the favor of God that's on my life, honestly. We're spiritual people, so I can say different things made me into this guy, but honestly, I thank God for the upbringing of my parents upbringing me the way that they did, and also just the relationship I have with God. I believe that's why I have the status that I have, and He's afforded me these opportunities that I have. Because I don't do it for myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I understand you can be up today and down tomorrow.
Yes.
So you should never be big-headed. You should never, you know what I'm saying, take advantage of the opportunities that you have. And I'm thankful for the favor.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And even with what we're going through now with the government shutdown, being the longest in history, 21 days. And so, like you said, you could be up today and gone tomorrow. And I mean, you know, I call it a wake-up call, right? A real wake-up call that lets you and shakes you to really see what is important and the things that you need to do.
Very true.
So tell us about Wade Menendez and how becoming a barber, entrepreneur, businessman, and the whole concept around the men's hair unit became a reality.
Well, so I've been a barber professionally since 2004.
Okay.
You know, opened my first salon in 2011, and I've been doing many things, but the hair unit thing just came about maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, about 4 years ago, there was a young lady in my in the shop. She was adding hair to dreads.
Yes.
And so I didn't even know they even sold Afro kinky hair for dreads, because the guys, you know, they were coming in, dreads are thinning, you know, they're losing their dreads and stuff like that. So she's adding this hair, and I'm like, man, like, where are you getting it from? She was like, so you go to the store, they have it there, whatever. I'm like, man, a light bulb just went off in my head. I'm like, man, this has to be something we could do for guys without dreads, just like, you know, somebody that just wants some hair. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I had a lot of clients that were receding and had recession, and so I'm like, this could be the remedy for that, man.
Yeah.
So put our heads together. I did a sew-in on one of the guys, and I threw it on Instagram, man, and it just went from there. It just kind of it went viral from there, and it's been an awesome journey. Now I have guys that fly from all over the world to come get this stuff done. I never thought it would be as big as it is today. Honestly, it's blowing my mind. Like, 'cause I just started to do it just low key for fun. It was just like, okay, let's experiment with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's like, now it's a thing. You know what I mean? So
yes, and you know, you have the master classes that are sold out. We were teaching it to other barbers, cosmetologists. I see, you know, some women in there as well.
Yeah. Because I don't just do it for men. It's for women as well. And so I have a lot of hairstylists and guys and girls that come and learn it. So I'm grateful.
Exactly. And I was looking at your schedule. That's really full until about March or April.
Oh, Lord,
going nationally, internationally, Nigeria, Ontario. I was looking at all the great places. That's a blessing because, you know, when you look at it, you know, so going to the page, when I had the page and posted, some of the Facebook audience started to ask some questions about it. And so one of the Facebook audience participants, I said, listen, I'll ask him. And her question was, do men really want this?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm like. I'm like, yeah, they want to look good too, right?
Yeah, most definitely. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, and these days, guys are starting to take more care of themselves now. You know what I mean? We're not just, you know, and I think some of the ladies would think, oh, a guy shouldn't take that much care of himself or put that much attention into how he looks, but you know, a lot of guys are self-conscious about this. You know what I mean? And self-esteem is shot because they hairline is back, or they you know, losing their hair and they ain't ready to go bald. Everybody don't look good with a bald head. So that's where I come in.
Emotions are real. Mental stability is real. Everybody has a way that they want to look, right? And so you think about females. We get installs and hair weaves. We get lashes. We get nails, right? We do all of that. So men are the same way too, right? I have a bald husband over there, but he better not get no hair unit. I'm just saying.
You want to
I love what you do, right? I ain't blocking your game, but I love a bald head.
No, so listen. It's not for everybody. There are some people that will do well with it, and some people no. It's not for everybody. There are guys that will come and actually they'll make an appointment to get it done, and I will say, bro, you don't need it.
Right.
I'm not even going to you don't need it. So I'm not about making money, but those who want hair, that's where I come in. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely.
Listen, wonderful. And I was watching your show again, and when the interviewer asked, now you don't have one, do you? Like,
no, but that's what I said. I would if I needed it. If I needed it. I thank God for my dad. His genes are strong, and he passed. He had a full head of hair, so I think I should be okay for a while.
Exactly. Okay. Bishop Frank Menendez, and we honor him too. Yes. Listen, I know that it took some sacrifices, right? Some days where you started and had to start over. where you probably wanted to throw in the towel, but the towel was just thrown back to you, right? Up early in the morning and late at night, sleepless, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sacrifices that you had to put forth in order to get to where you are today.
Long hours. I talk to guys and just stylists, barbers, whoever. I tell you, you cannot be successful and be lazy. You can't. They don't go hand in hand.
Good.
So there's early mornings, late nights. You know what I mean. Now where I regret not making more of a balance for my life because I didn't have a work-life balance. You know what I mean. But I just worked. But you have to put time into it. You know what I mean. So when your friends are out at the club or hanging out, you need to be grinding or thinking of your next move. You know what I mean?
Right.
Saving your money. I wasn't able to really get to this point without saving money. You know what I mean? Using my mom always told me, because her dad taught her, if you get $1, put away 50 cents. If you can't put away 50 cents, you put a quarter away. So just saving your money and making sure, because you never know what may happen. You know what I mean? There are things that you need to buy for your business or things you need to do. I was blessed to get one of my clients actually sold into me. They gave me the jump start to get my first shop, which was a blessing. But I still had to kick out another 10 G's of my own money. Now, if I didn't have that, then I would have been kind of short.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, just saving. So it's sacrifices that are going to need to be made in order for you to get to the next level.
Exactly. And when you were talking, I thought about my own, journey since August becoming a full-time entrepreneur that I had to determine between a need and a want. So some things you just have to say no to. You can't do. You can't do anymore. And then even if I had nothing to do, I got up every morning and just grind it out 8 hours, 10 hours, like I was going to some place. And so you have to definitely put in that work effort. You have to, like you said, look to see where your money is going to and look at it as an investment in what you want to do. Listen, when you look at your accomplishments, what is your proudest moment?
My proudest moment, I would say, was when I opened the first shop. I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know if clients were going to follow me. I didn't know if we were going to get business. But it pushed me to another level to really focus on what I was doing. You know what I mean? It pushed me just to be a businessman. I didn't make every decision the right way, but I was passionate about what I was doing. Yes. And I believe God honored that as well. And things just kind of worked out, but I think that was the moment that I was most proud about.
What's coming up next for you? Any documentaries, movies, books?
I'm actually writing a book.
Okay, good.
I'm actually writing a book.
Good.
Hopefully it should be out in February. We hope. But it's just my success story. 12 keys that I feel that will help anybody, not just a hairstylist or a barber, but anybody that wants to be in business or that wants to be successful or what we call successful in life, because it's going to deal with character things, integrity. It's going to deal with spirituality. It's going to deal with business. Good. So I believe that it would be good. Also, this coming week, I'll actually be on the Rachel Ray Show in New York.
Yeah, Rachel Ray. See what I'm saying? I told y'all.
So we're going to be doing a makeover on that show, so I'm excited about that.
Okay. When is Steve Harvey coming up? I know that's coming.
I don't know.
Listen,
y'all put the word in Steve Harvey. What's up?
Y'all make this go viral today. Steve Harvey, Wade Menendez, the Men Hair Unit. He will be on there before 2019 is over. It is going to be done. I believe it. I see you sitting in the sofa right now, and the people running down doing the $100 game he talking about. Wade, on the Steve Harvey Show. Not the radio morning, but the TV show. I'm going to be specific. Yes.
You gotta be specific.
Listen, we got to get excited and celebrate people. We got to celebrate each other. And, so often, Wade, and I've experienced this myself, even from, the aspect of jealousy and, hate and looking at people and saying, oh, they're not real and things of that nature. And so, we need to build each other up. I think Cheryl Woods, and actually Cheryl Woods has a show here also on Wednesdays, and she said, celebrate people, not just tolerate them. And it really stands out because we don't celebrate each other enough, And so tell me about some of those challenges that you face.
Oh, man. So even when I just did the Vice News thing on HBO, man, from that, and they talked about how much money I made, and so a lot of people started, making comments. Oh, he's a fraud. He's this.
They probably wanted to bar
hey,
something.
Listen. He ain't make that much money doing this. I'm like, man, the hate is real. But it just showed me, prepared me, because,
Yes.
when you go to the next level, there will be opposition. There will be people that will come and try to, say all kinds of things against you. And a lot of people want success, and they want the celebrity, but they have to understand what goes along with that.
Exactly.
Man. You open yourself up to so much to hate. You open yourself up to scrutiny, and people like looking at everything about your life and looking at everything, and you got to be ready for that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I use it as motivation, and I don't know. I try not to focus too much on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at the end of the day, I let the Lord fight my battles. The Lord
Exactly.
says, vengeance is mine, I shall repay, said the Lord. And also, I just believe God covers me, so it's like I'm not tripping about
Exactly.
that. You know what I mean? We ain't clapping back. We ain't going back and forth with you. Like, listen, you got that.
Exactly.
Say what you got to say. I'm moving on. I'm keeping doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm
Exactly.
staying focused. So
Exactly.
you got to be focused with this.
Exactly. And you have to be focused, because you're focused on your assignment and your plan, while they're focusing really on the man and what they see, right?
Yeah.
And I just simply say it's people with unresolved hurt and fear.
Exactly.
Because if you let go of the hurt, it's going to free you. And if you turn your fear into faith, then you will become what you're really designed to become. And it starts with you, right?
Yeah, that is very true, man. They have not dealt with their own issues and their own insecurities, a lot of times. So, and that's another thing, even one of the situations that I just had to deal with, man, I really I prayed for that guy.
Wow.
Like, real talk, because the stuff that he was going on, he was like, because I was featured on Black Enterprise as well, and he was going back and forth on the comments. He's a fraud. He stole my ideas, and all that. And I'm like, man, this guy is big mad. He's really upset. And I said, man, God, really help him, because he really has some unresolved issues. Because when you're doing well, you don't have time focusing on what the next man is doing like that, and got time to be doing all that extra stuff. No, it's another level of integrity and things you don't allow yourself to say when you're really on your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and when you're really you're walking in your path, and it's like, man, I had to really realize, I'm like, no, man, he's hurt.
Yes.
He's hurting.
Yes.
So I pray for him.
That's right.
And hopefully
and that's what we're supposed to do, right?
Honestly.
Exactly. Exactly. Listen, so we're going to wrap up our interview here so we can bring Ellen back and conclude our show. But if there was one piece of practical advice that you would give the listeners today, what would that be?
Man, if you're passionate about something, just focus on it. Starve your distractions. Really focus on what it is that you're passionate about, and give it your all. You know what I mean? Hopefully, I tell any business owner, or if you're going to get in business, if you fulfill a need, there'll always be business and work for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So figure out what is it that you're passionate about. Does it match a need that is in the world right now? You know what I mean? And if you fulfill that, I believe you'll do well. Stay focused. Don't spend time on your social media and gossiping, talking, hanging out. If you want to get and be successful, you have to surround yourself with successful people. Read books, man. A lot of our society, we don't really read.
No, we don't.
You know what I mean? You have to read and educate yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So find books that are, in the lane that you're trying to go. Read, educate yourself, surround yourself with successful people.
Exactly.
And believe, and I believe keeping God first is
the main thing.
That's the main thing. But everybody don't believe in God, so I try not to
Exactly.
throw that out there all the time.
Exactly.
But that's what works for me.
That's what
You
works
know
for
I mean?
us. Yes.
So those are hopefully that will help somebody.
Yes, and reading is important. I don't share a lot of what I do. I just do it because that's who God called me to be. But I actually am a mentor for students at Harvard University going through a coaching program.
Awesome.
And so, with that being said, I get the Harvard Business Review daily. And let me just tell you, if you don't have Harvard Business Review coming in your inbox, you might want to do that. They have some great articles that will help you. I mean, it seems like whenever I read it, I'm like, oh, that's great. I can use it and help other people while I'm doing my consultant work. But that is a great resource to use as an entrepreneur, as a business. Is Harvard Business Review. Make sure you register, sign up. It is free. Good information that they give you daily, and I get those and read them. So awesome. Wade, thank you so much. Please tell the listeners how they can find you.
Well, you can find me at wadethebarber.com. On all social media outlets is Wade the Barber. So that's pretty much it.
All right. Listen, we're going to take a real quick break because our time is winding up. 60 minutes go by so quickly.
Yes.
But stay right there because we'll be there sooner than you can even go get your snack. So hold on. VoxWave.com. We'll be back.
All right.
All right, so you
we here at VoxWave believe that no one in the DMV should go without a coat this winter. So we partnered with Star Imports dealership for this year's annual coat drive. If you have an old or gently used coat that can still be worn, drop it off with us. VoxWave Studios at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland, and give the gift of warmth to somebody in need in the DMV.
Our lives, we sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where know that God will keep you. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe. And know one day you'll receive all the blessings that's for you. He is going to see you through. You gotta go where God leads.
Welcome back. We only have a few more minutes, but before we leave, I want to spend time this year making sure that every time we're together that I highlight some good events that are taking place in the month. Because like Wade said, you need to surround yourself around people who are successful, people who are celebrating you, people who can help you to get to where you want to go. So I do want to highlight a couple of things that are coming up on Saturday, January 19th at Lord & Taylor in Washington, D.C. Author Ayo Thomas is having her book launch called Design Your Excellence Book Launch. On January 19th at 3 o'clock p.m., this up-and-coming young entrepreneur, I think she is maybe 19, 20 years old, founder and CEO Kiara Williams will be having her BPS and B Kids Vision Board social for the young people at 3 o'clock. On January 19th at 8 a.m., I want you to tune in to Listen Live Radio for the Life of Books with Lady Nakia Wright, who is actually the first lady of my church, The Gathering. Beautiful Boss Lady Brunch will take place also on Saturday, January 9th, and that's hosted by founder Rochelle Wilson. This wonderful organization that I'm a part of, if you have not heard about it, I'm telling you to come. This group will help you to move forward in your life as far as being an entrepreneur, starting a nonprofit. It is the Sister for Sister Network, founded by Peggy Morris, who is the president. This meeting takes place January 20th at 3 o'clock p.m. in Lanham, Maryland. On February 1st, we have the Red Dress Gala, which is founded by Miss Florence Champagne and the Open Heart Foundation, which really speaks to women around taking care of themselves and knowing what their heart, their blood pressure, and things of that nature. Another group that I'm a part of, the DMV Mastermind, we will have our 10th annual Black History Program Saturday, February 9th at Walter Mills Parole Elementary School in Annapolis, Maryland, 12 to 3 o'clock. And then, have you heard of Trevor Otts? I know everybody heard of Trevor Otts. He's the founder of Black CEO, And he has a conference coming February 21st through the 23rd in Washington, D.C. It's called Black and Influential. And I'm glad to say that I am going to be one of the speakers at that conference. Nice. So please look up Black and Influential, and also look up Black CEO. It is a great organization with almost 100,000 people, I believe. Wow. And then last but not least, just mark your calendars. I'll be promoting this soon. I Am a Cutie book launch will take place on Saturday, March 1st. At the RL Hotel in downtown Baltimore, Maryland at 1:00 p.m. And then tomorrow, if it is not that much snow and you can get out the house, you can join me at the gathering at Forestville with the none other Honorable Bishop Donald Wright. That's my pastor. I celebrate and honor him. Where we are living proof that God is still faithful. To everyone who was impacted by the government shutdown, we here at Turning Dreams into Reality, we're praying for you. Just know that you will get power out of this process and pain. The antidote to worry is faith. The answer to anxiousness is prayer. And the results of a process is called an end. And so know and be encouraged that this too will pass and all will be well. Listen, before we leave, I think we have 1 minute left because Ron will shut me down at 4 o'clock. So with the 1 minute that I have left, Ellen, anything you want to say to the listeners?
Well, I've been so inspired by both of you here today. I do think it's a testament to surround yourself with the right people who will motivate you and pick you up constantly. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Wade?
Same thing.
Okay.
I don't have much to say, man. Just, stay focused, man.
Yes.
Stay focused. Focus is everything, because there's a lot of distractions out here, and we have to stay focused and to get to where we need to go. So
thank you. Listen, thank you to everyone who listened on today. I am so glad that you decided to start the year off with us, and let me tell you, the best is yet to come with Turning Dreams into Reality. Join us every second Saturday, 3 to 4 p.m. here on VoxWave.com. Have a productive, purposeful, and a prosperous week. We love you.
Awesome.
Yay!
Many times in our lives, we sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary.